So, hi everybody, welcome to this first interview of the Crochet Luna Vlogcast. I'm super excited to introduce a friend of mine, and her name is Elsye, and then I'll let her tell you about herself.
Hi, how are you, everyone? Thank you, Claudia. Good to see you again. I am coming to you from El Salvador in Central America, where Claudia is from originally. And I'm so happy to be here with you. And hopefully, we're going to have nice chat about crafting.
Yes, so Elsye is a crocheter knitter, and she's designed both in crochet and knit. And so, what I want you to share with people is how you started crafting, crocheting, and knitting.
Yeah, well, I was very young, 13 years old, and I had some, I don't want to say complete knowledge, but some about crochet, because in school here, they always teach you craft. They always teach you cross stitch or crochet. And when you make things for your parents for Mother's Day or for, Family Day, and we would always craft at school. So I had some knowledge of crochet. But when I was 13 years old, during my vacations from school, I was like very, um, I don't know how to say that in English, like unwary. And
Restless?
yes, like my parents didn't know what to do with me.
Hmm.
And we took swimming classes
Hmm.
and we took art classes, but nothing seemed like to engage me when I was off the class. Like at home, it ended and it was the same thing again. And my parents were desperate, and they were thinking, what can we do that she learns, that she comes home and she keeps on doing that? So, so
What
my
can we do to
mom,
keep her busy?
yeah, and this thing is like an obsession. It's like you would a good obsession. I try to call it a good obsession, because some people might, from the outside, I don't know, might have the opinion that it's a bad habit, or I don't know. But to me, it's something very good. And obviously, you need to eat, you need to cook for your family, and you need to care for your children and whatever. But you would want to be knitting or crocheting or crafting all day long if you could.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And so my mom worked at the German school, and she used to teach there. And this old lady at the time was the crafting teacher. And the Germans are known for teaching their children, both boys and girls, with no distinction, woodwork and to knit and to crochet and to everything. So she was the craft teacher. And my mom thought maybe if she teaches her how to knit.
She could teach you
And
how to knit.
so I went with her, but she didn't like had a class, a proper class. And she would meet with her friends every Wednesday morning during the summer, and they would knit from 8 a.m. until lunchtime. So she
Wow.
accepted me on that knitting group. There were only like big ladies, like old ladies, like grandmas. And they were like knitting there.
And so, how old were you when you were doing that?
13. I
Wow.
was 13. Yeah. So, and it really, I really liked it, and it stuck to me ever since, but I never did it as a lifestyle. I always had a box or a bag of something I was doing, and it took me years. And I would buy some cotton yarn whenever I went to the States, and that was it. I didn't know anything else about it. And I had some magazines given to me by my grandmother and by my ex-mother-in-law, and they're very old magazines, but for me they're treasures right now. They helped me
Right.
a lot with my designing. And so that was it. I didn't know anything else. I had corporate jobs for so many years. I traveled a lot. I was studying at the university. I was raising a kid. I was so busy, didn't have time. And sometimes I would make a stitch or two and leave it for months.
Yeah.
But then I picked it up like 2 years ago as a lifestyle. So now I really can tell you I knit every day or almost every day. If there's no, there's hardly a day that I don't
And
do.
so, what was the change for you 2 years ago? What happened 2 years ago that
Uh,
allowed you to just say, you know what, knitting, I want to get back to knitting. And so I'm going to go and do this every day now.
well, I found myself out of a job, my last corporate
That was good.
job. Yeah, my last corporate job ended in November, let me see, November 2017. So at the beginning, I didn't know what to do. Obviously, I was looking for a steady job. I'm still looking for a steady job. Um, but because you have to make a living, right? If I could make a
We need
living
the money
only
so we can buy the yarn.
exactly. No, and I mean, I would love to do this for a living, but
Mhm.
it's so hard. And if someday that's the case, I would be so happy to. But it hasn't happened like that. But the thing is that I was looking for a job, and at that moment, obviously, I had money. So I had my savings, and I had money from the severance package. So I was okay, but I was thinking, what else am I going to do? I need to start selling something. And one day I woke up and I thought, oh, I'm gonna go look for my knitting.
I'm going to go look for my knitting. So, why knitting?
Yeah.
Why, excuse me. So, why knitting and not why not say crochet? Why did you gravitate
Mm,
towards the knitting and not the
because
crochet?
yeah, I like crochet a lot, and I crochet. For example, right now I am going to start a business made to order. And the products that I have right now are girls bikini made in crochet that I showed in one of my podcasts.
Oh yeah,
And
we're gonna talk about that later because
uh-huh.
she does a English only podcast and a Spanish only podcast, which
Hmm.
I did that once and it is a lot of work. It is a
It's
lot of
crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, but I want to try to do that because I find there's a lot of people that, especially I think in the Latin American countries, that have a lot of skill and have a lot of potential, but they don't understand what's going on in the rest of the world. And obviously, the rest of the world, the English speaking world, knows more and has more access to a lot of things. And so I want to be able to give that information to them as well, right?
and you're
So,
talking about in terms of knowledge of the fiber community, knowledge of
mhm.
um, you
Yeah, who
know,
are the
patterns
designers?
and all that kind of stuff.
Who are the yarn dyers? Maybe they could get better materials. It's just that they don't know where to look for them. Yeah, why knitting and not crochet? Because I think I am more a knitter than a crocheter, but I do like crochet a lot. It's just that I identify myself with making certain things in crochet and not in knitting, and vice versa.
Mhm.
And so in my new entrepreneurship, like I'm going to try to sell things made to order to the world, not only here in El Salvador, because I have said in my podcast, there's a lot of people here in El Salvador that don't appreciate handmade things. I believe that right now you go out, and because of the situation we're living in the whole world, but here being this is a very small country for the ones that don't know. It's a very poor country, and it has a lot of challenges. It's very beautiful. We have beautiful beaches, we have beautiful mountains, we have nice people, we have good food. It's really nice. But, there's that situation where people have lost the love for their roots and for handmade things. And I think it's great. But you cannot lose that. But now I think people will appreciate more, because if you go out in the car, I am in shock to see all the commercial shops closed, like closed for good, like they have gone out of
Right.
business. So, only a few will survive. And I was talking to my sister, who is a specialist in wine and spirits, and I was telling her she's launching like a box of wine and goodies, and
Like
she
a
will give
subscription
you,
box?
yeah, like a subscription, like a yarn subscription
That's
subscription
excellent.
box, but in
Yeah.
wine. So I was telling her, you know what? I think from now on, or for a long time, the world is going to be from my home to your home thing. Like when you want to buy
Absolutely,
something.
absolutely. And I think one of the challenges you and I were talking about earlier was that you said you're able to ship anywhere in the world, but bringing
Mhm.
things in, importing things, is incredibly difficult. Is it always been that way, or is it even worse now that we're in the pandemic?
No, it's always been like that, but it's a lot of corruption too, because if you use, for example, the national mail, which is called Correos del Salvador, you can be sure your things are gonna be lost, stolen, damaged, and. So I was talking to a lady that I found that dyes yarn in Costa Rica. I was really,
Mm.
really excited because I have never seen anyone dyeing merino wool in Central America, like superwash merino wool. Okay, so she's in Costa Rica, and she's very close to me. And she was telling me, I can send you the yarn through Correos de Costa Rica. And I was like, no.
So we'll
Whenever.
never get to you then.
Exactly, we'll never get here. And also the duties are so high. I found a company that gave me somewhat a fair price, but I thought, oh my God, if I get money to buy yarn, I am not sure I want to try, because I would still be scared that in the end she tells me, look, it got held up in customs, they wouldn't give it to me, or now you have to pay X amount of money to get it out. And, I didn't use it because for my birthday, my dad called me and he said, as a present, I want to give you some money. And your auntie is going to give you money there from my account. And I said, no, Dad, I don't want the money, because if she gives me the money, I'm going to spend it in the supermarket, in gas, in whatever, you name it. So I said, no, Daddy. And
Get
so
me
he
yarn.
said, exactly. So he said, okay, and then I'm going to give you my credit card number and you can buy the. So he gave me $200. But $200, it's 6 skeins of yarn.
Yeah.
And I did a good job because I found a deal, right? So, I got 6 skeins of yarn and they have already arrived to my dad's home. And my sister will be in Dallas until early December, which is around the corner. I mean, by now it's like 2 months. So in 2 months, I will get my yarn and I know it will be safe because it's my sister. It will be in her luggage, so there's no problem. And I don't want to stress over that, right?
What's funny is that, I have family still in El Salvador, and you guys have a degree of patience and the ability to, you're okay with not getting it right away, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
we here, this is why we have Amazon Prime. We want it the next day, right? But like I talk to my aunt all the time, and she's like, "Oh yeah, next time your mom, what it doesn't like. There's no, I think
There's no rush.
there's that rush, that sense of urgency. I think because I think of how things are that you're more used to than we are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the fact that I cannot get it anywhere here.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter how far I go within El Salvador, I won't find wool. So,
That's amazing to me. And your story that you're saying now is, I was listening to Hohi Locatelli some months back talk about a yarn order that got stuck in customs and all of the hoops that she had to jump through.
and how much money she paid for that yarn.
Yeah, and for that yarn, it was almost more than the yarn. And that's one of the things that I was watching. I was watching a show that just I put on my Instagram. It's a group of people here in LA that went to El Salvador to study the music scene. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that the people say is that there's no
Oh, I saw
infrastructure.
it. I have to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was saying there's no industry for music, for hip hop music in El
Mm-hmm.
Salvador, but they're
Yeah.
trying to make it. There's no infrastructure in the same way that you're saying there's no infrastructure for
No.
yarn.
No. And there's no infrastructure for a lot of things like
Yeah,
tourism or cinematography. Like
right?
my ex brother-in-law, he left and he lives in Los Angeles and he works there in the industry, in the movie industry. Because here, my ex parents-in-law would tell him, "You're gonna die. You're not gonna. I mean, you're not gonna make a living out of that profession. It's like, don't do that."
Right,
But
and that's the thing about, like, if you watch this first episode in the series, is that you're you're seeing that you live in a country that's beautiful. Like my mother says that, she loves the beauty of
mm-hmm,
the natural beauty of El Salvador. You've got talented people. You've got young, talented people who are
mm-hmm.
just wanting an opportunity to explore those talents, but there's no foundation there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
And there's a
that's
lot of people that don't know anything about many countries that can be in the same situation because they have only seen what they have their whole lives. And it's important to put it out there, I think, like, of course, you would think it's like people who live in the States think that it's not a matter of me buying it, it's a matter of me getting it. It's not like you,
right.
like the postman comes and they deliver your packages and that's it. A
Well, and
drone.
there's a social contract that we have with our postal system, right? That
Yeah,
they're held accountable if packages go lost. That we have this trust. You're absolutely right,
of course.
in the postal system, that if I order something, I'm expected to get it. It's
Of
not
course.
like it's not like a raffle, right? I
No.
don't buy something and maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
mean, of course, things go lost and all that, but for the most
Yeah.
part, we have a foundation that when we buy something from someone, we're going to get it. We're not saying, no, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, don't use the U.S. postal system. I may never see my wool, right?
Yeah, and also, it's cultural because people here also still have issues with paying online with a card. It's
Right,
this has been a process. This situation has been a process to teach a lot of people when they are given no choice that they need to start doing things online. And I see in the older the generation is, the harder it gets. And it has happened with my mom. At the beginning of this, she wanted to go to the bank. And I was like, why do you want to go to the bank? Like, you don't need to go to the bank. In your computer you can do everything, or you pick up the phone and you do it by phone with somebody there, but you don't need to go there. It's dangerous. Like, why are you going to spend 2 hours in a room full of people, even if you're wearing your mask? If you don't have the need, don't go.
so for example, you're saying that Amazon is actually not even an option for you.
No, no,
There's
it's
no,
not.
like, you jumping on Amazon and buying stuff because you know it's going to get to you.
Mm-mm. Exactly.
Wow.
So I might in the future give it a try with this service that I told you. It's called Aeropack. I don't know. It's a company, like, it has some reputation because the HL here, it's so expensive. They will charge me twice the value of the yarn. I asked them. So I'm not gonna do that. It's like if I buy a skein, I will end up paying $70. Doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
So no, and I will try with one skein the next time to see if I get it. There's a friend of mine who lives in Burbank, and she called me for my birthday, and she said, I want to give you something. What do you want? And I said, I want needles. And she said, okay, send me where to buy them and what to buy because I don't understand. And she works in the textile industry. But and she got a really good job there. And she worked here with HBI. So she was moved there by another company. And so she was asking me, what am I going to do with the needles? How am I going to send them to you? I'm going to be there until next year. And I said, don't worry, send them to my dad's home. You know, in December, my sister will bring them along with the yarn. So
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
get my birthday present says Christmas present.
There you go. And
Yeah.
so, what can you talk about a little bit in terms of, have you lived in the States?
No, I haven't.
Traveled? You just traveled.
Yeah.
So, did you
Well,
have a bilingual education in El Salvador?
I went to a school that right now is bilingual, but when I was studying, it wasn't. It became bilingual over the years. When I was little, we only had 1 hour of English a week. So I always had that curiosity. I wanted to learn. I had friends at the bilingual schools, and I would hear them talk in English. They would have books in English, and they would invite me. I always liked to read, and they would invite me to the fairs at the Escuela Americana, the American school here, or the British school, and they would only have books in English. And I picked one day the Sweet Valley High. I don't know if you Sweet Valley
Yeah.
High. Yeah. So the whole series, but I didn't understand the word. So, you know, I was eager to learn and to be able to get information in a different language. And I thought English was, I have always thought if you speak English and Spanish, you're not going to get lost in the world anywhere.
Yeah.
Somebody is going to understand you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that has proven to be truth for me. It has saved me so many times around the world in my trips to speak either or. And other people who didn't speak the language that I spoke would have been lost without me. So, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's really cool to know that you speak one or two of the most spoken languages in the world. So I asked my parents if I could go take classes, extra classes at the American school. And they said yes, and I started taking classes when I was 13 as well. So between knitting and the English, they
It kept you out of trouble.
yes. so so I started translating songs because I wanted to understand, you know, what was in the lyrics. And I started reading my books, and I had like this glossary where I would write all the words that I didn't understand. And I had my English dictionary, and I would write the meaning of the words. I was very, very methodical and very detailed about it. So, you know, I kept on studying until I was 18. And then when I graduated from high school, I wanted to find a job. My dad didn't want me to find a job, but I said, look, I just, you know, I like money. I want to have my money. And he said, okay, I'm going to pay for your university, and I am going to give you a down payment for a car. But then you find a job and you pay for your car and for your things. And I said, okay, that's okay. So I went to the American school and I said, I want to teach English. And I had to take the course. I took the SAT and all the tests and whatever. And they gave me a job and I started teaching there. So I taught English like for, I don't know, maybe 5 years until I got my first corporate job. And in my first corporate job, I still would go out of work at 5:30 and I would fly to the American school to teach a class that would start at 6:40 until 8 at night. Of course, I didn't have any children. I was married at 22, but I didn't have any children, so I could do that. So I would get home like at 8:39.
Wow.
But then it was so much responsibility at work and at home, and I couldn't keep on doing that.
And what did you study at university? What did you major in?
Marketing.
Hmm.
I started studying business, But after the first 2 years that are common in here in business and marketing, the same you have the same curriculum. And then it would split. And when I saw what I had to learn in business administration versus marketing, I thought, no, that's not my jam. I don't want that.
You're like, that's not
So,
my jam.
so I had to go to the dean and, write a letter and give an explanation why I wanted to change careers, because here that's very, I don't know, there's a lot of bureaucracy going on in those type of things, even though I didn't have any discrepancies between the curriculum. But they let me do it. It was a nightmare to change it, because even the codes, like I started with a code A of admin, and the other code was M as in marketing. So they had to change my code, and a whole mess, but they finally did it. So yeah.
And they're like, don't change again.
Mm-hmm. No, but I liked it better, and I think I mean, I maybe I would have finished business, but I wouldn't have had enjoyed it as much. And I really love my career. I like it very much. There's a lot of people who say that we marketers are liars.
My husband, his degree is in marketing too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got a marketing degree from San Diego State. Yeah.
So that some people say that, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like used car salesman, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's like, cool. I mean, and for people who are wondering how you and I hooked up, I want to briefly talk about that. So, as you guys all know, we had this conversation early in 2019 that kind of broke open to this conversation of inclusion, diversity, and racism, things like that. And I did a live with Diane, who's Lady Diane's, and I had this person contact me on Instagram, and she said, the things that you're talking about are the same things that we're dealing here in my country of El Salvador. And I was like, hold up, did you know that I was born there? and I don't think that you knew that, right?
No, I didn't know. It was like when the universe sends you to the right person, but you don't know.
Yeah, I was like, holy cow, I have to get to know Elsye. And so we've chatted back and forth, and it was always my plan for us to have a chat, an interview. But at the beginning of summer, things just got crazy.
I know.
So finally I was like, well, today sounds like a good day to do it.
Sure. And hopefully we will have more talks like this.
Absolutely.
I would love it if we could have more talks. And I love podcasting and blogging and watching. And we were talking in one of our conversations that we were not recording, how a lot of people during this time have put out their episodes where they talk to each other. And that's another type of podcast or vlog, where you have actually a conversation. Like when I'm recording, I'm talking to myself.
Right. Yeah, we're talking to a camera. Exactly. And there's no back and forth. And yeah, I mean, what I'm fascinated with is just how you as a knitter knit in a country that produces no wool, has no real wool, just yarn industry.
Yeah.
And so how you are not only podcasting on YouTube from El Salvador, but also designing. So can you talk a little bit about what got you started podcasting? Like, why did you podcast?
Yeah.
Why did episode 1 go up?
Okay. So, I started making things for to sell. But as I said, people don't appreciate very much handmade things, and they want to pay $5 for them. And so I stopped doing that because I was losing money. And I thought, no, I can't lose money right now. I have to make money. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to keep on doing that, but I want to keep on knitting. And the community really has inspired me, and not only the English-speaking community, but the Spanish-speaking community as well. There's a lot of podcasts both in English and Spanish, and I love to watch, you know, and to learn. And I learn too. It's not only that I am trying to put that knowledge out there for the ones that don't know what I know, but I'm also learning from other people. When I watch you, I learn and I say, oh, Claudia mentioned this designer, or Claudia is following this person. I'm going to take a look, you know. And I do that with everyone because I think that expands my horizons, and you never know where you're going to find something that inspires you to the next thing. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to need something for my mom. And, but that was a crochet design. I thought, no, maybe I'm going to crochet it. And it's really, I started making beach cover-ups, and those were made in crochet. I sold all of them with a lot of work, effort to sell them. And I kept one. And that's why I think this is my first design. I was coming from doing a lot of beach cover-ups, and I thought maybe I'm gonna make a sweater for my mom in crochet. And my mom would also travel a lot, and since I was out of the corporate world, my travel got from here to here, but she was still traveling, so she and my sister were bringing me yarn. And she bought some yarn for me in Argentina. She bought me like a lot of yarn in Argentina. And one of the skeins that she came back with was this one that is, it's cotton. It's a really good cotton from Argentina. It's comb cotton, but it's fingering weight. And you know, I thought, okay, I'm gonna need something for mom. And
Okay, hold it up.
Yeah.
But don't
You
move
can
it too
see.
much so the camera can focus on it and bring it closer. Because the stitch on it is so pretty. Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice.
I can send you a picture. Maybe you can.
Yeah, if you send me a picture, then I can put it in so people can get
exactly. And we were talking off camera that it has some details in knitting, the ribbing on the side panels, and the ribbing on the cuffs, and the ribbing on the neck is made in knitting. But if you're a crocheter, you could do it in crochet. I don't see why not.
Can you show the ribbing on the side?
Yeah, the ribbing on the side is really cool because it gives you more stretch here. You see? So I really like it because it gives you that added stretch, and it ends up in the split hem.
That's so pretty.
It's really cool. So when I finished it, I thought, I'm going to write this. Oh my God, I didn't know how hard it was to write something. And obviously, I have bought some patterns and others that are free and I like, because I try not to download something just because it's free. And so I started studying other people's patterns and how to write. And so I tried, you know, and it came out, and I thought, okay, I'm going to publish it, you know, yeah. And then after watching so many podcasts and seeing, I thought, you know what, I really want to not only promote my work, but talk to the world, as I said, about the things that some people might not know, or maybe there are people who are interested in other things that I talk about, I don't know, or just to make you company while you knit or crochet, whatever, or you craft.
Does that design have a name?
Yeah, it's called Unconditional Love.
Oh,
because it was for my mom.
Yeah. Yeah. And then another thing that I want to ask you, can you talk about why you chose your podcast name?
Why did I choose to podcast?
No, your name, igaia.knits.
igaia.knits. Yeah. I didn't know about a name, but I wanted to give it a name since I started making things to sell. So I wanted to have like a brand name. And since I was out of a job and I didn't know what was going to happen with my life, and God knows it has gotten very crazy since then, like crazier than I could have imagined. And but I'm still alive, thank God, you know, I'm here. And I still have everything that I could ask for. It's not like I am I have lost a lot. I lost my house. So it's been really hard. But at that moment, I thought, who am I doing this for? And, as a mother, you're a mother, um, how children are a lot of motivation for us. And I thought, well, my son needs me. I cannot just lay in bed and cry my bad luck. I have to like wake up and start doing something for him. So I started looking at names, and I came to that name because Gaia means earth and Mother Earth. So I thought, as in I am Gaia. So that's why I am his mom. So I'm supposed to nurture him to, he turned 18 already, right? He's not a little kid, but
he's not a baby anymore.
Yeah, but he is in a way, because he's still in school. He cannot provide for himself yet. So whenever I see that he can provide for himself and he doesn't need me anymore, then I'm gonna, okay, fine. But
Well, and that's also a difference in culture too, because for us in the U.S. they say, oh, you're 18, you're an adult, you should be able to take care of yourself. But in our culture, we don't push people out because they're 18. We don't necessarily push our children out of the home just because they're 18 years old and they're adults. We sort of nurture until either they get married or they get to the point where they can go off on their own. And there's no stigmatization for a man, for a young man or a young woman to live at home.
No. Even I am 45, Claudia. And I have friends who never married and they still live with their parents. And it's not because they have really big executive jobs and they make a lot of money and they have their own properties. They have apartments that they rent and they just want to be with their parents.
No, I understand that. I grew up with that. I had like I said, my aunt, she has always lived with my grandmother and my great aunt, and there's no stigmatization about that whatsoever.
No.
And actually, it's probably preferred that you just stay at home. Right?
Yeah, definitely. But that's my motivation. My son wants to go abroad to study. We don't know where yet, but I told him, look, you have to look out for yourself. You need to find a scholarship, a program. I don't know. I mean, you're going to graduate from high school and you have to find your way. And he said, yeah, Mom, don't worry, I will. So,
He's ready. He's ready.
But I told him, if you don't go like right away, don't worry. You have a house here, you have your home, and whenever you are in Timbuktu, but you have a problem,
you always can come home.
Exactly, you can always come home, and that's very nice. I think that's very important, and I think this time, I hope for many of us, if not for all of us, has taught us the value of family and real friendship.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes. So and that was my first design. And
show us some more, because I know you've got other.
Yeah, the second one, I don't have it. It's called Tresorela Scarf, because we're 3 sisters, and I designed that for my little sister Margarita, who is the sommelier. And she brought me some yarn from a trip that she made with her husband to New York from Pearl Soho. She bought me some nice merino cashmere wool. So I knitted her a scarf, and it's called Tresorele, but she has it. She bought me enough yarn for 2, but I have not knitted mine.
Oh, Tresorele, like Italian for sisters?
Yes, for 3 sisters. And but you can see it in Ravelry. My Ravelry is Elsye Machon. And
I'll make sure that I put pictures of all of your designs so people can see it. But this, I love.
Thank you. This one is very nice. It's called Atenea Midnight. Atenea was a Greek goddess.
Athena.
And, yeah, exactly. And this This is in linen, in Quince and Co. Linen. Sparrow. This is fingering weight linen. And I don't know if the camera is picking up the texture. I'm not holding it.
Yeah,
But,
I can see it. Yeah, it's very
it
pretty.
has some cables and texture in the bodice. And it has the stars. I'm going to stand up so that.
Mhm.
So it's like that.
It's very pretty.
Yeah. It's very nice. I like it. And I wrote this one too. This one was a bit of a challenge because for each size, the grading, it's difficult and different for each design. And as you go and you start doing it, the more you do it, the better you get. It's like when you crochet more, you knit more, you quilt more. And I have asked a designer that is a friend of mine from Brazil, Paula Pereira. I don't know if you know her.
I've heard of her, yeah.
So I have asked her to give me a class in grading because she has a lot of experience and she publishes for a lot of magazines that are very, first of all, you don't have the same space in a magazine that you would in an independent pattern. And I needed a design from her from an Amirisu magazine. And it was really good. And I asked her, but she's been very busy right now. She said, yes, she will give me the class because I want to have one-on-one and I know how to grade and I'm doing it, but I want to have like somebody who tells me you're doing this wrong or you could do this in a different way that it's easier or better, and maybe there are some constructions where I would want to have insight, So yeah, and then the last one, well, no, it's not the last one, but
The
one
most
of
recent one. Your most recent
no, the
design.
most recent one is the jacket. You have not seen the jacket?
That's
yeah,
right,
the
that's
jacket
right,
that I
yeah.
have not written.
No, but I've seen the pictures of it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
so
love that.
this one is the Hope sweater, and it's color work. And on the back is not as busy because I decided not to do the first panel. It has only stripes, but with some texture. And because I get bored really easily, so I like something that keeps me interested, and I can see that when I have a body that is only stuck in it. Yeah, it's relaxing to an extent, but I tend to leave it for long periods of time because I get bored, and especially when you are too close to the armhole and you're not seeing the end, and that's a difficult point.
But you've got color work on top only, right? And then
this one
color work.
This one has color work here, then it has
yeah.
lace, then it has color work, then it has color work, then it has a corrugated ribbon. So it's really entertaining, I think. The only thing is that it's knitted flat from the bottom up. I know it's not the most favorite construction, but and at the beginning I thought maybe that's why I am having difficulties finding testers. But there are some people who prefer to knit things in pieces and flat still. And this design in particular, you could not do it in the round because it's not the same in the front but in the back.
The back is different, yeah.
Okay, so you can't. There's no way. It doesn't matter if I change the construction. It's not gonna fly because of that. But it's not that bad because it's a dolman sleeve style, so you don't have to knit sleeves. And knitting sleeves is not, I don't think, anyone's favorite, right? And you have to only sew from here to here, and that's it. And then you pick up stitches and you knit the cuff. and you're done. But I think that's the upside, right?
Yeah,
So
because
we will see.
that's not like a set in sleeve. It's part of, you're just, you're
Exactly.
just
The
knitting.
dolman, exactly. You need it along with the body. That's the dolman
Cool.
sleeve. So you don't need to knit it, separately. And also, it's very boxy, super boxy.
And so then what kind of needle are you using? Are
I
you using
used
circulars or are you using straights?
I used, well, I have straight needles and I have circulars. I have some straight needles from when I was a teenager still.
Oh,
And yeah, my mom bought me a set in Germany, and one of her students brought it back for her, for me. And I still have some
ah,
of those needles. And so the I don't know, the brand was Imra. It's still around. And so sometimes I use straight needles and sometimes I use circulars. It's not, obviously you cannot compare those needles with a chiaowu, right? Or bamboo needles. And to me, some people love bamboo needles. I don't know, but it's like hooks. I like metal hooks, me.
mm-hmm,
But some people like plastic or the bamboo ones, the
mm-hmm. The wood ones, that's the good
yeah,
one.
the wood ones. Yeah, for
But
the
this
t-shirt
design that
yarn.
you, this design, what's the name of this design that you're showing?
This is the Hope sweater.
The Hope
Uh-huh.
Center. So,
Yeah,
what did you use to
yeah.
knit this one? Circulars? What
No.
needle did, when you made this sweater? What did
When I
you
started, no, I started
straight?
with the straight. Yeah, yeah. Because I find that when you're doing, for example, the corrugated ribbing,
Uh
I
huh.
think in straight needles is easier for me to have a really good tension and a grip of the yarn. The only problem is that when you have too many stitches, you have to squeeze them and
Yeah.
sometimes you cannot see what you're doing. You have to knit halfway on each needle to actually lay it a bit, not flat completely, but those needles have like 35 millimeters each,
Hmm.
but still, sorry, 35 centimeters each, but still you cannot sometimes get it all there. But that's what you do. You knit halfway so that you have half of the work on one needle and half of the work on the other
On
needle,
the
and you
two
can.
straight needles.
Mhm.
Ah, okay. So
Yeah,
that's how you
yeah.
did that. You worked that on straight needles.
Yeah, but some testers have asked me, and in the pattern it doesn't say you need to use straight needles. I put straight or circular, however you feel.
However you want to do it. Okay.
Yeah. So and then I was telling you also off camera that I was not going to test this design. I am so grateful to the people who are testing it, and but I found people in Australia, in France, in Spain, in the US, in Honduras. Somebody contacted me through
Yeah,
Instagram.
that's awesome. Another Central American knitter.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get her on this and have
yeah,
a chat with her.
yeah. And I don't know, she's knitting it in drops, and I don't know how she gets her yarn. I
Hmm.
haven't. Okay, so this is the Hope sweater, but vanilla version. And I was telling you, I started this just to test my instructions. And I thought if I needed size M for me, I didn't plan to test this design. And I am so grateful to all the testers that offered to do it for me. But I thought, you know what? Is the first time that I am formally testing something. So I want to make sure that my instructions are okay. And I thought, since it has a lot of positive ease, it's very boxy, maybe I want to try to knit the first size and see if my instructions are correct for the V-neck and the short rows on the shoulders, because you have shaping. There are a few, and they're very simple. It's not like the ones that you do in the back of a yoke. And so I found some acrylic yarn that is used for baby garments. It's from Brazil, from a brand, Círculo, it's the brand. And it has some type of chemical thing on top because it's really soft. And so I found one
Like a
skein.
treatment? You think the yarn has some
Yeah,
treatment?
it has a
Yeah.
treatment,
Okay.
yes. So it's not that type of acrylic that is very scratchy, and no, it's really
But it
good. You
has
can,
really good drape. I can see that that your
and it's,
garment has good drape.
yeah, and it's very soft. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna try it out. But since I was only trying that upper part of the design, and I was not going to do it color work, of course, I thought, and I only had one ball of yarn, I thought, okay, I'm gonna start from here. So I casted on the number of stitches that I have for that size for the back and the front, and then I casted on the stitches for the sleeve, right? And I kept on knitting, and I did the V-neck, and whenever I joined the two sides, you join them with the Kitchener stitch, and I put it on, I thought, I want to finish it.
Now you want to finish it, yeah.
Yeah, so I went to the one of the little yarn shops here, and I got more acrylic yarn in this color. It's white, it's plain white, and so I am knitting it, and I finished the ribbing for the V-neck, and I am doing the cuffs for the sleeves, no sleeves. And I am doing this because I don't have time. I haven't recorded a podcast in 3 months, and I really want to show it. And I am not going to be able to finish this in time for that, but I still can put it on. So that's why I use this construction, because also I wanted to try it on. And I think I will include instructions to do it like this in the pattern as a bonus. So
We were
that
talking about that because you said that it's all garter at the front now, right?
Yeah,
it's all a garter.
exactly. But I could also include instructions to make it all knit, like a normal
Like
stockinette stitch. And the stockinette stitch, you can do it in the round, because I am not going to do garter in the round because you have to purl. It defeats the purpose.
Oh, okay.
If you do, there are some designs, and I respect that, but it's like the reverse stockinette stitch. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna purl a body of a sweater. No, I'm gonna turn it inside out, and I'm gonna knit the whole thing from the inside, and then I'm gonna wear it on the other side, right? Which is my outside.
I love the way the white. I was telling Elsye, I said, I have very limited knitting experience, so the color work intimidates me. But the white version with just the because you've got little lace right on top. Is it, or is it slip stitches? What are the little holes? How do you make?
You mean this? This is garter. This is only.
That's all garter, but the top is just knit on top.
This is just knit. This
Okay,
is
so
just stockinette.
I thought it had a little bit of a lace on top.
The other one.
I could totally do that. I feel like I could do that, but I would be intimidated. Me personally would be intimidated by the color work, because I don't even do color work in crochet.
Yeah, but in crochet there's the mosaic, or how do you call that?
Yes, mosaic.
The one that Mola Mills does. Mola Mills, do you know her? That designer?
No, but I know Sandra Gutierrez from Nomad Stitches.
Yeah, you mentioned her.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. I like that technique. I would love to learn that technique. So,
well, she's teaching a class at VKL, I believe, next month, where she's showing, I believe, I guess I shouldn't be saying it since I'm not sure, but last month, she taught her a class about the mosaic stitching in crochet.
It's really nice.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I like it very much. So yeah, and I wanted to show you, talking about crochet, I am developing this rug in t-shirt yarn.
Mm-hmm.
And this is t-shirt yarn only, and it's made with a wooden hook, a big wooden hook. And I don't know the dimensions, but it could be a bedside, or for the entrance of your home. So I am developing these two options for my shop, for the made to order shop. One, it's gonna be the green with white, and it's gonna be called Just Call Me Daisy, because I am doing these little crochet daisies that I'm gonna put on top. The petals are Tunisian crochet.
Oh my gosh.
It's not
Wow.
difficult at all. There's a channel in YouTube called Elena Rugal Studio, and she teaches the most beautiful crochet techniques like Romanian lace and Tunisian.
Wow.
And I have learned to make the most beautiful flowers from her. And don't get me wrong, it's a lot of work, but
No, I know. I know.
she explains really good. And this is a very fine
Is she
cotton yarn.
Spanish only, or does she do it in English?
She does it in English. Yeah. I don't know if she's Romanian, because I can hear her accent. But she teaches the most beautiful things in crochet. I'm gonna send you the link to her
Send me the
channel.
link and I'll share it with the people.
And it's really cool. She has the most beautiful tutorials. So I'm doing this, and the other, but I know I'm gonna have problems with the color on this green, because you never know. You go to the little yarn shop, and you never know which colors you're going to
Be
find.
available.
So I'm going to write, tell people, okay, whenever you order your rug, I'm gonna tell you which colors of green, which shades of green are available at that time, so that you can choose from what's available at that time, because I cannot guarantee that this lime color it's gonna be available. And the other one, it's gonna be black with white, but I'm gonna put ladybugs, little crocheted ladybugs on top. Yeah.
So then, can you talk a little bit about the little yarn shop that you're saying, or what that looks like in El Salvador in terms of going to a place to buy yarn?
Yeah, well, it looks very different from Michael's or Hobby Lobby or the McKinney Knittery, or I don't know, Espastrico, or wherever you go. And they're very small shops, and they usually don't let you touch anything, or and
Can't
now
touch anything. You go, I want that. I want that, and then they give it to you. Yeah.
And usually it's, if you don't know what you want, you can be hours there. And I think that method, as a marketer, it bothers me, because I understand that people might have that as a cultural thing, or that's the way they've always done it, or I don't know. But to me, the method in the States, it's better, because it's like a supermarket. It's like you go and you see what you want. Exactly. But then as a marketer, I'm going to tell you, you are going to sell more, because people are going to find things they didn't know they wanted.
I went to last trip I took to El Salvador was before I got married. So you're talking about like 2005 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to a fabric shop with my mom, and it literally took like 8 people to do the transaction, because one lady showed us the fabric, and then this young boy took the roll of fabric to the cutter, and that was a different lady. And then from there, it went to the person who wrapped it in the package, and then it went from there to the person who actually we paid to. So we had to go through like 4 people to do one transaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. That's the way it is here. It's like you have to tell them, no, not that color, the one next to it, no, the other one. So yeah, but we have one that brings mostly yarns from Brazil. We have another one that brings yarns from Brazil, and I think they have some from Mexico. And but that one is the most expensive one. They used to be the only ones for a long time, and I don't know if
Is it
they have
Omega Yarns? Omega?
Omega, yeah. And
Yeah,
I don't
they're very
know.
known.
Yeah, they're nice. And I don't know if they have lowered their pricing since, because I haven't gone back because of that. I know it's more expensive, so I'd rather go to the other place. And Entre Costuras is the only one who's importing Bernat or yarn inspirations and more of the Omega line, and the ones that come in cakes, those cakes to
Cones?
make
Like cones?
beanies,
Or oh,
the cakes to make beanies that bring the pom pom
Mhm.
attached to the cake. They are
So
giving
there's no
classes.
dedicated yarn shop. It's part of another type of shop, like a fabric shop or a craft shop. But there's
Yeah,
no.
well, this one is merely a yarn shop, but they're a foundation. Regina Bahaya, it's a foundation, and they use that money for charity and for communities that live in the coastal areas of the country where they're most poor or in need. And so whatever money they make from there is to help those people. And they give classes, they give sewing classes, crochet classes, knitting classes. And they have hired me, like it's a personal class. I think I was telling you, I don't remember if I was telling you offline or not, but this Wednesday I'm gonna start with her, with the owner of the yarn shop, Mrs. Regina, the owner of the yarn shop, and the representative of the foundation, and two of her friends and colleagues. And so I'm going to give them a knitting class. They know how
That's
to knit.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very happy. They know how to knit already. And I'm glad because, I respect the teachers so much, and I do not have the patience to teach someone from zero. I will be grateful my whole life to Mrs. Marta Patiño, who taught me how to knit when I was 13 and I didn't know anything. And but it's very difficult, and I have done that already. I have, like, years ago I taught a group of moms from my son's school. They made a scarf, but it was a nightmare. I mean, I would leave them okay one day, and the next day they would have, like, a ball of yarn with a lot of problems, a big hole in the knitting.
Well, that's how at every beginning scarf probably looks like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just don't think I am suited to teach people who are in the first stages. I am sure there are other people who I have great admiration for, people who say in their blogs or podcasts, I taught myself how to crochet, or I taught myself how to knit. I mean, I take my hat off, because even though I know you're watching it, but still, it's not the same as having somebody next to you telling you, no, you have to put your hand like this. No, don't grab the needle like that. You have to sit like this. You have to, because if you're a good teacher, you will tell them where you need to sit and how you need to sit, not to injure yourself. And it's like a sport.
Yeah, it's like you create bad habits if you don't know any better, and then you end up having to
Yeah,
deal with
yeah,
arm issues and all kinds of stuff.
yeah.
I mean, I'm completely self-taught in crochet with YouTube, and I tell you, I have a clear memory. I take my hat off to myself too, because I have a clear memory of having never crocheted in the round, and
Mm-hmm.
I had this pattern I wanted to make a bag, and it was in the round, and I could not understand. I couldn't understand the directions. I just couldn't understand it. And I remember crying, going, I can't, how is it that I cannot understand this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then going to YouTube and having that explained, and it was just like, psh, like my mind was
Of
blown, you
course.
know?
Yeah. But having this technology has helped us all to know and understand many things that we didn't before.
Oh,
Say that again?
absolutely.
I am developing stuff like products that I am going to have in the shop.
So are you, let me ask you this. So are you opening up an Etsy shop where people can go buy the product?
No. Why?
How can
Because
people, so how can people contact you to buy product?
yeah, I have opened a new Instagram account. It's called em_igaia, and I will give you the name so that you can please put it there. And I have a PayPal link, so people can choose whatever they want. They can go to the PayPal link, they can pay, they can send me a DM or an email and tell me this is what I want. You know, you place your order. It will take about 14 days for each order, and I will communicate via email with the person who buys something, and I will quote the shipping to wherever and let them know. So you know, we can discuss the shipping before the person makes the payment, so that if the shipping is too much, I don't know, it depends on where the person is or the weight of the item and whether they want to invest in that or not, then they can go ahead and pay through the PayPal link. So that's the way it's going to work. Right now here in El Salvador, most people are selling via WhatsApp, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
Do
And
they
they
have a platform for selling stuff or no? Just
no.
text me, I want it.
No, yeah. We don't even have the feature on Instagram to put a post with a price. So El Salvador is not in the list of countries where I can share a sweater and say that the pattern, where the little price thing appears and you click on that and it says the product price. No, we don't have that function in El Salvador. Guatemala has it and we don't. So you see, there's a lot of limitations, and there's a reason why I don't want to use Etsy, and it's because they charge you for the listings, and you know, and since it's gonna be, you know that because you have an Etsy shop, but since it's not something that I don't have the products, like it's gonna be made to order.
It's a pre-order basically. They're buying for a pre-order. But I think people will be fine with that if they know that
PayPal.
You know, you're gonna pay for PayPal. You're gonna take care of the shipping. Not you. They will take care of the shipping.
Yeah. And I can send them, you know, I can quote with different companies, with DHL or with FedEx, or, you know, and I can give them the different pricing and they can choose, and I can send them a tracking number. So yeah, that is not an issue.
So you're starting off with the rugs to sell.
I'm starting off.
You're going to include, you're going to develop other products that are going to be made to order that people can order from you, right?
Yeah, right now I have the rugs. I have the girls' bikinis that are crocheted as well. I have Etta bags that are like market bags, and they're crocheted as well in cotton. And that's Brazilian cotton from Círculo. And that pattern is from Anne Strict, and it was published by We Are Knitters as a free pattern. And so I have those. I have seen a lot of patterns for market bags in crochet, and by far the one that I like the most is that one. So I have those, and I'm going to include then the Vanilla Hope sweater in different, you know, you could choose your color, like, you know, I want it red, or I want it black, or I want it.
So you're going to offer to knit a sweater for people? Wow, I might be ordering a sweater from you.
Yeah, why not? That's cool.
So then I want to I kind of want to wrap this up because it's getting a little bit long, and I don't know what's going to happen with this recording because it's the first time we're doing it.
Yeah, here we live in air conditioning all the time, but I understand not everyone has air conditioning at home or in their cars or in the office. Like when I have a lot of jackets from my corporate job and a lot of sweaters that I would wear to the office. Like it was my outfit to the office. It's very normal to see people very well dressed because they're going to be in air conditioning all day long. So, but that's a percentage of the population, like really small. It's not like you see everyone in the street wearing a sweater or a jacket,
Right.
or you
Right.
know. And normally you wear a jacket inside, but whenever you go out, you take it off because
And it's
otherwise,
hot. It's hot and humid. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
yeah.
So,
So,
is there anything else you'd like to share before we sign off?
well, no, I hope we can chat more. I love our conversations, and really, if people want to, I've seen other podcasters or vloggers who people send them questions, you know. So if they want to send us questions, and we have the opportunity to keep on doing this, we will surely answer, and you know, ask away, like craft related questions, of course.
Craft related questions.
Not personal questions.
Yes, yeah. I love it because I love that, I am on this exploration with trying to connect with my roots, and
Yeah,
having, lived outside of El Salvador for 40 years because I came here out. I was 8, I'm
yeah.
48. And I say, I have very distinct memories, and I absolutely have a connection to those very formative years. But I don't have that connection the way you do, obviously, because you live there and this is your home.
Yeah,
And
of
that's
course.
something I definitely want to explore because
Yeah,
I feel that pull to try and do that. And I'm finding so many things out that I think are just like beautiful and wonderful that I want to share with people because people here in the States, when they think of people from El Salvador, they think of the immigrants that are coming here illegally, and they this sort of negative thing about the people from El Salvador or Central America. But I want people to see our people and see the beauty of our country and see the talent of our people and have that perspective maybe change. So
yeah. That's great. That's great. This country will be very grateful for that.
I,
Yeah.
I think
So
I think wonderful things are going to happen in the future, but I think it starts with you teaching that one class of knitters and those knitters
yeah.
teaching other knitters, and
Mm.
those people starting podcasts and introducing their talents to the fiber community.
Of course.
That's how we're going to grow.
Yeah, of course, definitely. So I hope we chat again, and it was so good to see you.
Yes, it
And
was lovely to chat with you. And yeah, you guys send us some questions and then we'll answer them for you on the next time we have a little
yeah,
chat.
sure.
All
Take
right,
care.
Elsye.
Bye.
Bye.